How to have fun at work could pay off in the long run, we're told. That's according to our next guest, the authors of a new book. It's called The Levity Effect, Why It Pays to Lighten Up. New York Times best-selling author Adrian Gostick joins us from Salt Lake City, Utah, and the humorist Scott Christopher joining us from L.A. Adrian, why don't we start with you? Funny boss makes you more money if you're the boss?
Well, that's what we found in the research. It was a little counterintuitive, but what we found is that in the best places to work, about 80% of people say that they're having fun at work, that their boss is fun. In those lousy places to work, the number can be in the single digits of people who say they're having fun at work. So there's a correlation here in the research between having fun and actually making money. Wow, that's interesting, I guess. Our boss, by the way, is on this show, so we're going to get to that. That's a good tease. We're going to get to that in just a little moment here. But Scott, you know, what goes into this? I mean, why are people making more money just by being funny?
Well, I think, for one thing, it's a sign of intelligence. You know, someone who can crack witty occasionally seems to be a little bit smarter. 97% of North American CEOs say that they are looking for someone with a sense of humor to hire over someone who appears to be a little more serious, a little more grim. We call them brow knitters or jaw clenchers. These are people that simply will not lighten up because of the seriousness of their mission.
Yeah, they want to be all dead serious at work, but at the same time, Adrian, isn't there a certain line? I mean, don't you have to be careful not to cross the line when you're being funny, especially with people who you're supervising?
Yeah, you know, there's that issue, but when we did this research, we found 96% of people want at least a balance of fun and seriousness at work. You know, as you look at most workplaces, there's not really a threat that you're going to be, you know, overly fun. I mean, have you ever worked at a place like that? No. Yeah. The trouble is that we're too serious all the time.
So what do we do then, Scott? I mean, when the interview process, you mean you got to come in with like your best material or something like that for the guy that's interviewing you?
Well, again, it's not so much about being, you know, Henny Youngman or riffing or going into shtick, you know, with your interviewer. It's more about just bringing a lightness of who you are, because the fact is, a lot of people aren't born with that innate sense of, you know, uncanny humor. It's about lightening up. It's more about being fun than it is about being funny. And I think if you put a twinkle in your eye a little bit, you don't take yourself too seriously, that's a great signal that you possess a shred of a sense of humor.
All right, I want to talk some more about this with the gang here. Adrian and Scott, thanks very much. Best of luck with the book. We appreciate it as we move on to round 4. Question is, what's the most fun you've ever had at work? As I mentioned, for most of us, Danielle, luckily for you, you're excluded from this. Ray is essentially our boss. So maybe I should go to you last. Do we have a funny boss, Robert?
Do we have a funny boss? Of course we do. And we've actually seen some evidence of it every once in a while.
Yeah, every now and then. Every now and then. What do you think, Ashley?
Oh, I think he's hysterical. But, you know, talking to Danielle, I'm still trying to get my head around the fact that she loves zombie movies. She looks so sweet and happy. And where did that come from?
Those are the ones, Ashley. You can't trust them. Yeah. Funniest moment at work, though. Let's go back. We'll go to you two guys first, and we'll get everybody else involved. Funniest moment you've ever had at work anywhere, Robert?
Funniest moment, wow. Aside from every day here with the guys, I don't know, we've had a lot of funny moments. Have to come back to me, man.
Ashley?
I gotta pass.
Well, I'll tell you what, I was in Tennessee, and there was a sheriff being interviewed after a big fight at the local bar, and he looked me straight in the eye, and with the utmost seriousness, because I wrote this down because it's hysterical, he said to me, quote, "It's no different than any other drunk woman riding a horse on a dance floor." Like it happened every night. I thought it was the funniest thing I ever heard.
Yes.
What a career Ashley's had, right?
The funniest moment I've had here was actually watching you anchor for the first time.
Yeah, it's very good. I knew that was coming.
And for the record, you have to have a sense of humor to, you know, get to the point where you're hiring these people. You have to, you know, kind of look lightly at life to...
You mean us?
Yeah.
That's for the record.
Yeah,
right.
for the record, you guys. Everybody else I like. You guys, you have to have a sense of humor.
It shows. Danielle. Sorry to drag you into this yet again.
Yeah, well, most of the funniest things that I've ever seen on the trading desk, I was on the trading desk for about 10 years. They're pretty censored, so I probably can't share that stuff with you. But we used to tease the new person on the desk, you know, the assistant to the assistant to the assistant, and they used to have to shout out to find out who traded a stock. So we'd say, you have to ask them, Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe. Shout it out. Who trades it? So the guy would stand up and say, Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe. Who? You know, until everybody caught on, and
every time
that person
they always went for it, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty good. All right, funny boss important, you think?
Absolutely, and I'm hilarious.
I won't argue with that, zombie girl. We won't. Robert Gray, given the time, and Robert's a little slow. It takes him a while to come up with it.
I need a second cup of coffee this morning.
What do you have? This
I need
better
some
be
more
good,
coffee.
by the way.
I'm
We're going
telling
back to you for it.
The most fun I've had, obviously, was probably this week at the car show. Definitely a blast. But
for us too, watching it, by the way.
One of the funniest things. One of my first jobs right out of school, I taught English as a second language to Czech children. I didn't speak Czech really, and I had this little 5th grade kid who got up in the middle of the class while we were teaching, and after he said the days of the week, just broke out into the little Russian dance where he was doing this. And, I mean, it was like, you know, I guess you had to be there. But it was one of the funniest things. And, you know, when you're 23 years old and you're just looking at this little kid going, what can you do with that except just sit back and enjoy it?
Oh, that's good. That actually was good. It was worth it. Robert, Ashley, Danielle, Ray, thanks very much.